Bard is introduced into this film as a somewhat mysterious character. Can you tell us about him?
Yeah, he is quite mysterious because I guess you don't really know much about him. He's just this bargeman who makes a deal with the dwarves to get them into Lake Town and help them pursue their journey onwards. But as the film goes on and the story unfolds, you realize there's more to him than meets the eye. He's not just a bargeman. He has a very interesting background and ancestry, and he's a father, he's a widow. He seems to have the trust of the people of Lake Town, which is quite interesting also, which makes him a bit of a threat to the master of Lake Town. So there's a lot to Bard.
Now, when the dwarves washed up on his lake, why was it that he helped them? What was at stake for him?
Money. He did it because there was money involved. And at this point in the film, you know, all Bard thinks is that he's just going to get some money. He's just going to get them into town and get them some weapons and they'll move on. Little does he realize that they're way more trouble than they're worth.
Now, he has a hidden talent for archery. Was there any special training that you had to do for that skill?
Yes, there was, yeah. We did a lot of training with archery, with bows and working with the long bow and just figuring out how to actually shoot a giant arrow, you know, 'cause that's quite a feat in itself, and shoot a lot of them. They're not, you know, I shot a lot of bows and arrows in this film, so yeah, there was a lot of training. But you have to do that, you know, when you shoot something like this.
Now, was it fun to work with Stephen Fry as the master of the lake town? Your characters are quite different.
We are quite different, and we don't really like each other either, which is quite fun. No, I mean, Stephen is wonderful, and I think he plays a great role as the master of Lake Town. I think he's very interesting, and he looks fantastic. And yeah, it was very fun, very, very fun indeed. Watching two people trying to gain the trust of the people, two men trying to gain the trust of the people, which is quite a feat, and it's quite enjoyable to watch them. They're dynamic with each other, which isn't very nice.
Now, what was it like for you to come down to New Zealand and work with this whole cast of filmmakers and talent?
It was very refreshing. It was very nice to know that I wasn't going to have to travel for a while and know I was going to be stationed there for quite a long period, the longest period I'd ever worked on any movie before. So yeah, that was really exciting, and quite quickly after you arrive, you just feel very relaxed and you feel part of the family. You know, they don't leave you to just work everything out yourself. They're there to help you settle in and get stuck into the film. There was a lot to do, so it was a wonderful experience, and I've made a lot of friends from it.
Oh, that's nice. Now, was there any particular scene that you really enjoyed shooting over the others?
Yeah, it's the scene that you won't see until, well, maybe I'll take up a scene in the second film, which I probably loved shooting. I guess the scene which was the slave motion capture scene, which is when I'm in the room with the dwarves, and I wasn't in the room with the dwarves. They were in another set, and I was in the green screen set, and you know, that amazing technology and wizardry that they have out in New Zealand, and they're able to make it look like we're in the same room. I think that was probably an amazing, to see the product of that effort blew me away, because I knew the effort that went into that scene, and to see the final product, which I thought was really impressive. Yeah, that's a really good, memorable scene.
That's fantastic. Now, you're a Welsh actor. Did you bring any of that into your character as Bard?
I brought a lot of that into my character as Bard, because Bard has a Welsh accent. And so very much of Bard and his ancestors and anybody else who came from Dale now have a Welsh accent in the film, which means that Wales will always play a role in the ancestry of Dale, which is a lovely thing.
That is a lovely thing. Has the experience of working on this film brought you any deeper understanding of the books at all?
Oh, I think so, yeah. I think everybody that worked on this film left with much more knowledge of the depth of Tolkien's works. And, you know, we spoke about the appendixes and the Silmarillion and all of that stuff, all of the backstories, and, you know, there's a lot to Tolkien, and we met Tolkien's family, and so yeah, there's a huge amount of knowledge we all left with, much more than probably most of us arrived with, for sure.
Working with Peter Jackson, how was that experience for you?
I don't think anybody would not want to have the experience of working with Peter Jackson. It's he thinks big, but he also can deal with very small detail, and that's an amazing talent. When you watch the film, you'll see how enormous it is, and it's all-consuming. Some of the scenes are just, it takes your breath away. But never once does Peter forget about the actor, and what really matters in the scene is the story and the narrative and the people in it, and that's a lovely thing, that he always has he has an immense amount of respect for the actor, as much as he cares about the huge, picture that the actor is sitting in.